Alrighty, you are looking live at Sold Out MetLife Stadium, where today the 16-0 and playoff-bound New York Giants are taking on the 0-16 Philadelphia Eagles. And why are the Philadelphia Eagles 0-16? Because they suck. I can't wait for them to lose in the playoffs. Because they suck. The Eagles suck. Man, I love that. Welcome to the Gridiron. Anybody out there who's going to spend a little bit of time with me here this evening, I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. Or anybody who's going to spend any time watching a replay this, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me. Thank you. Going to try to go about 30 minutes here tonight. Shoot my mouth off for about 30 minutes. Anybody got anything to say, please feel free to fire away, throw it in the chat box. I usually try to check on the chat box like every 5 or 10 minutes or so. So as soon as I see something in there, I try to respond to it as fast as I can. So please feel free, fire away. But plus also, I mean, instead of me just rambling on for half an hour, 45 minutes, or whatever it might wind up being, it's just nice to talk to another Giant fan. So please feel free, fire away. Before we get started, if anybody wants to help support my channel out, it would mean the absolute world to me. In the description box below, very, very top link in the description box, takes you to my membership page. I got 3 different membership levels. The first one's called the Saquon, second one's called the Lawrence Taylor, and the third membership level I got is called the Gridiron. Each one's got their own little perks to them. So if you want to help support my channel out, it would mean so much to me, and I thank you in advance. Thank you. If you are subscribed to my channel, once again, thank you. I can use all the support I can get, guys. But if not, please go down below, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell icon. That way, next time I go live or if I put a video out, you'll be notified. And it's free of charge. What do you got to lose, right? But if you are subscribed to my channel, thank you. And then also, finally, a little ways down in the description box, there's 2 additional links. The top one's a Facebook link, which I'll go over in just a second. The one underneath it, my buddy Randy's here. The one underneath it, I'm an old-time fart, so I don't like change, right? It's a Twitter link, right? It's always been Twitter. It's Twitter today. It'll be Twitter tomorrow. 300 years from now, it'll be Twitter. I'm an old-time fart. So it's Twitter. Whatever letter of the alphabet Elon Musk wants to call it, that's on you, brother. I'm not calling it that. It's Twitter. You follow me on Twitter, I'll follow you back. That's an absolute promise. I try to put Giants-related stuff in there every day. And then just the link just above it, it's takes you to my Facebook group. It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. It's a group. We have over 7,600 members in the group. It's doing simply marvelous, might I add. Basically, if I'm alive and breathing, and if I have internet access, I'm putting stuff in this group darn near 365. And not only do I put stuff in there, members post stuff in there as well. So between me and the members, there's a ton. There's a boatload. There's an awful lot of New York Giants information going in this group every day. Please join the group. It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. It's a Facebook group. Join it. You won't be dissatisfied. I promise. All that stuff said and done and out of the way with, the Giants are trying. Hey, can't knock them for trying, right? But also, pretty much as long as the coaches are under contract with other teams, they can be turned down. All you can do is pick the phone up and make a phone call. The worst they can say is no. It is what it is. But the Giants are being blocked. That's my if you're an old fart like me, you probably never played electric football, but one of the guys in electric football, that's one of the blockers. He looks like that. So the Giants are being blocked by quite a few teams as far as getting interviews. I mean, like the Giants were blocked from the Falcons as far as their offensive line coach. They don't have a head coach, but they want the new head coach to come in. As long as their offensive line coach is under contract, they want to hold on to them in case the new head coach who comes in, wants to keep this head coach, keep the offensive line coach there. And I would think whoever the head coach is, if they were to let him go, as for the offensive line coach of the Falcons, if they will let him go, they'd be a little crazy. But all you can do is pick up the phone, and for any reason at all, the team that has coach, assistant coach, whoever under contract, they can just, say no. They can also say yeah, right? But, so the Giants are striking out here. Let's see now. Giants striking out in efforts to interview special teams coach candidates. This is a Big Blue View. Ed Valentine wrote this. Giants have thus far run into a brick wall of resistance in their efforts to interview candidates to replace the fired Thomas McGahee as a special teams coordinator. Giants have requested permission to interview 3 candidates since letting McGahee go on Monday. They have been denied permission each time. It is what it is. Giants have asked to speak with 3 special teams coordinators whose teams currently do not have head coaches. But the thing is that the guys that the Giants are trying to talk to are very respected, do a very good job. And it's like, obviously the GM and the owner, whatever, whoever's calling them and telling them and denying the Giants access to these guys, right? They realize what they have here, and they want to give their new head coach an opportunity, right? I guess, to say yay or nay, keep these coordinators or not. So the Giants, Marquise Williams of the Atlanta Falcons. So the Giants have, obviously since the Falcons let their head coach go, the Giants have wanted to talk to the Falcons special teams coach, right, and their offensive line coach. They've been blocked both times, right, by the Falcons because they don't have a head coach. Chris Tabor of the Carolina Panthers wanted to talk to him, and they've been blocked. And Ryan Ficken of the Los Angeles Chargers. NFL teams can deny assistant coaches permission to interview for jobs that are lateral moves. Like if a special teams coach, right, say Ryan Ficken of the Los Angeles Chargers, if the Giants would pick the phone up and say, we want to interview Ryan Ficken for a head coaching job, that, obviously that's not like a lateral move. That's a promotion, right? That the promotion's one thing, a lateral move, can we, he's your assistant coach. Can we, I'm sorry. He's your special teams coordinator. We want to bring him over here and be our special teams coordinator. That's a lateral move, and they have, as long as they're under contract, they can deny that. Right. And a lot of respects, you can't really, whatever. Blame these teams, especially because, for the most part, it seems that they let their coaches go. Why? Because they're not doing real well. So a few of the things that the teams actually have that are good, like coaches, right? So, they want to try to hold on to them if they can. So that's why they've been pretty much denied the access. It is what it is, right? Teams in the process of hiring a new head coach can keep their assistant coaches on board to give the new head coach an opportunity to retain them if he chooses, right? Some teams allow assistants in that situation to interview for other opportunities. Some teams say yay, some teams say nay. It is what it is, right? The Raiders still seeking a permanent head coach after firing of Josh McDaniels and naming Antonio Pierce the interim head coach in midseason, allowed the Giants to interview offensive line coach Carmen Bracillo. The Giants, of course, quickly hired him. So, sometimes, by most of the time, it's going to turn out bad where the other team blocks you, especially if it's a lateral move. But I think I really think we hit a home run here with Bracillo. I'm not saying he's going to be the greatest offensive line coach of all time, but just what I'm saying, basically comparing him to Bobby Johnson. Oh my God, I really think we hit a home run here. So sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, right? So they'll keep, they'll keep on keeping on, right? So. We need, the defensive coordinator we brought in. We interviewed. We had one interview. We're bringing in another guy for the defensive coordinator. Right. We did bring in somebody. From the Saints. Okay, as far as running back coach. All right. Nolan, Saints assistant, is drawing interest from the New York Giants. An interview took place now once again. Okay, that basically, it is what it is. Something, all you can do is ask. This is a lateral move. They have a coach in place. They got a running back coach underneath, right? It's not like they don't have a head coach or nothing like that. They got a head coach. They got a running back coach. The Giants picked the phone up, said, can we have your running back coach and interview him to be our running back coach? The Saints said yes. Thank you. Okay. Most of the time, if it's a lateral move, you might get no's. All you can do is pick up the phone. All the worst they can say is no. The Saints said yes. Doesn't mean we're going to hire the guy, but we brought him in, right? As I said, you notice with the Raiders, they don't have a head coach just yet. They got a very good offensive line coach there, right? Giants picked the phone up. No head coach. Can we interview, your offensive line coach? Yeah, scoffed them right up. I said, but the other teams here, right? Like with the Chargers, the Falcons, right? We picked the phone up. You guys don't have head coaches. Can we interview your special teams? Nope. No. It is what it is, right? Well, I said, once again, all you can do is ask. But we did bring in, right? Giants interview the Saints running back coach Joel Thomas for the same position, according to a report. NFL Network reported Saturday that Giants asked the Saints to speak with Thomas for their vacant running back coach role, and that request was granted. So thank you, Saints. Whether it works out or not, thank you, Saints. Thank you. Thomas, 49, has been with the Saints since 2015. Now, this past season, obviously they did not have a banner running season. This was not a banner running season for the New Orleans Saints, right? The Saints allowing the interview to happen comes as general manager Mickey Loomis, the front office, and coach Dennis Allen mold changes to Allen's coaching staff because they didn't have a banner season this year, right? Once again, I think they got maybe a little bit of rebuilding to do. Allen spoke openly this past season about the run game struggles. They didn't have a great running game this year. The Saints finished 21st in the league and averaged just 3.6 yards per carry. With Alvin Kamara back there, that's not real good, which was the second worst average in the NFL. I would say that I don't think we ran the ball as effectively as we need to run the ball, Allen said Monday at a season-ending press conference, to be the type of offense we need to be. Before joining the Saints, Thomas coached at college level as he spent time with Arkansas, Washington, Purdue, Idaho, and Louisville. He also served as a coaching interim during the New Orleans training camp in 2012. The Giants are in search of running back coach after Jeff Nixon left the Giants to become the offensive coordinator of the Syracuse Orangemen. Now, to be fair, the Saints, I believe it was from 2015, I think it was. Was it 2015? Between 2015 and 2018. Now he's been the running back coach for the Saints for almost past 9 seasons, 2015 to, he's been with the same team, the same coach, just running back coach for 9 seasons now. So, but from 2015 to 2018, the Saints have led the NFL in total team rushing touchdowns with 82. Now, you also figure that's pretty impressive because of, who was on the team. Drew, I like to throw the football, Breeze, right? Now, does he like to throw the football? But if you have a Hall of Fame quarterback there with the way he can throw the ball, let the man throw the ball. So for them to actually lead the league in rushing touchdowns, that's pretty impressive. I said this past season they were not very good at all. But if you look at the Saints here, it's from 2015. 2015 was not a great year for the Saints as far as like running the ball. They had 1,491 rushing yards. They averaged 3.8 yards per carry. Not very good, but they had 16 rushing touchdowns. But it gets better. 2016, they had 1,742 rushing yards. They had 17 touchdowns, 4.3 yards per carry. So they got a little bit more, a little more yards per carry, more rushing yards. As I said, once again, this is kind of impressive considering that, you got Drew Brees back there throwing the ball 40 times a game. That's just pretty impressive. 2017, they had 23 rushing touchdowns. They had 2,070 rushing yards, 4.7 yards per attempt. And they had Mark Ingram and Alvin Kamara back there. I mean, so yeah, two freaking studs back there. Basically, between the two, they had about 1,850 yards rushing. Between the two, between Ingram and Kamara, they had 20 rushing touchdowns. So, 2018. Let's see here. 2018. They had 26 rushing touchdowns. 4.3 yards per carry. They had over 2,000 rushing yards. Once again, between Kamara and Ingram, they had 20 rushing touchdowns between the two guys. This time they flip-flopped. I think Ingram had 14 the year before, and Kamara had 6. This year in 2018, Kamara had 14 and Ingram had 6. But between the two, they had like over 1,500 rushing yards, 20 touchdowns, right? So, 4.3 yards per carry. So, 2019, I'm not sure what they did in 2019 here. 2019 had 1,738. They had 12 rushing touchdowns, 4.3 yards a carry. But once again, you got to keep a lot of things in perspective as well, too, because, it's good, okay, that with Drew Brees back there, who likes to just throw the ball a lot, they got a lot of yards. But it's once again, it's the Einstein theory. Everything's relative, right? When you got a good quarterback there that can beat you throwing the ball, maybe you back off a little bit, which opens up the run game, right? But I mean, between Ingram and Kamara, they've had some real good running backs back there, and they also have had some very good offensive line play as well too. So, is this guy Thomas? Is he like the greatest running back coach of all time? I mean, as I said, he got some good stuff out of Kamara, Ingram, and all of that. Some good positive things there. As I said, this past season wasn't nothing super spectacular, but I mean, the Saints weren't nothing super spectacular this season anyway. I mean, Carr got beat up a lot. He got sacked a lot. Their defense was not super spectacular. They were very mediocre in a mediocre division. Right. I mean, like the most mediocre division in all sports, So, I'm saying, well, they're going to bring him in, they interviewed him. Doesn't mean they're going to sign him. Let's see. So, as I said, so basically, Washington, I mean, it was Purdue, Louisville, Idaho, Purdue, and Arkansas, but he's been with the Saints, for the past like 9 seasons. So we'll have to wait and see. And as I said, is this just one guy they're bringing in and is going to hire him? So once again, we'll have to wait and see. Right. But they got to get somebody. But I mean, it's not, this guy, whoever this is, obviously they're all important. All important. Don't get me wrong. But I mean, the offensive line coach, special teams, the defensive coordinator, those are far more important, shall we say. I mean, you don't want to say, he's just a running back coach. That's important too. Don't get me wrong. But, I'm more excited to see who we're going to get. Special teams, right? They say it's like a third of the game. But, you have defensive coordinator, and I think we hit a home run with the offensive line coach. Very, very excited there. So we'll have to wait and see. Now, also, you have to wait and see because the Giants are trying to fill the vacancies. Now, so these other teams like Atlanta, they want to get their head coaches in there. We'll hang around a couple months and we'll think about hiring our coach. We'll get around to it. No, they want to, they want to get their coach in. So he can get a staff in here so they can, especially right now, we got to start scrambling, getting the scouting and all that stuff. Get a coach in here, for when the Shrine Game and all that stuff. You want those guys out, right? So they're trying to scramble. So, I mean, if the Giants get blocked here or there or something like that, and all of a sudden, say the Chargers bring a new coach in, and for whatever reason, they let the special teams coach go, hey, maybe he might come back to the Giants, right? Or he might be able to come to the Giants. Same thing with Atlanta. Now, we're not interested in their offensive line coach, but if Atlanta brings a new head coach in and he's got his own idea on who he wants as a special teams coordinator, and he lets their special team, right? Maybe their guy might come to the Giants. You have to wait and see. But I mean, the Giants, everybody's trying to hurry up and fill their coaching staff as fast. But you do know that the teams that, probably for the most part, are looking to. The only thing is that some of them might be putting on the brakes, maybe just a little bit, because like what happened last season, right, with the Eagles, right? Their offensive line coach on the head, and their offensive coordinator and the defensive coordinator, right, became head coaches, right? So obviously the coaches that are in the playoffs. Well, speaking of that, what's going on? I mean, oh my goodness, the Texans, man. I mean, I don't even think Cleveland gave up 45 points all season. 45 points on the Browns, that defense. Holy cow. What do we got here? What was 19-7? 26-7. Yep, that one's over. Put a fork in it. 5 minutes to go in the game. Bye-bye, Miami. I guess they couldn't. The 352 degrees below zero, I guess they couldn't couldn't hack it. But my thing is that some of these, like the GMs and all that of like Atlanta, or the GMs of San Diego, whoever else, they might have their eyes on one of these, coaches, a coordinator or so for one of these teams that make it to the playoffs. And so you start looking at, so why are these teams so good? The Cowboys, they got some good players on defense, but right, it helps to have a good coach, right? Dan Quinn, right? I mean, he might get a few phone calls, right? So some of these teams that are trying to fill these head coach spots might be waiting, for the Cowboys to get knocked out of the playoffs so they can pick the phone up and, call Dan Quinn and say, hey, would you be interested in our head coaching opportunity, right? So some of these teams might be waiting. I mean, you want to scramble and hurry and get your guys, but as I said, once again, some of these teams that might be holding off, waiting for, So I guess now they can, if there's anybody they want to, between the Falcons and the Chargers or whatever, if there's anybody on the Cleveland Browns coaching staff or the Miami Dolphins coaching staff, they can pick the phone up if they want one of their offensive coordinator or somebody like to be a head coach. They can do that because you can say bye-bye to Miami. Miami's the fair weather team. I think they only beat one team all season. And actually, my son and I were at the game. Miami only beat one team with a winning record all season. That was the Cowboys, and they beat them on the last second field goal, 22-20, was it? I think it was. Yeah. So, all right. Then I tell you what, this is Louis Riddick, right? They said, well, because he got interviewed for the when Gettleman. We brought a few guys in, right? Gettleman was one of them as far as the GM and all of that, but Louis Riddick was one of them too. And he actually was talking about Louis Riddick wanted to hire this coach if Louis Riddick became the GM. He wanted to hire this one coach. This is from Giants Wire. Who is this? Let's say Tyler Henry. Looks like. So there was quite a bit of news on the coaching front this week, not just in the NFL, but in college football as well, with legendary coach Alabama's Nick Saban announcing his retirement. What else is, it is what it is. You can be there forever. Somewhere along the line, you got to retire. He's won, I think he said 7 national championships. What else you got to do, right? But prior to the Giants hiring Dave Gettleman as the general manager back in 2017, Louis Riddick was being considered for the position as well. The Giants, of course, went with Gettleman, which did not work out well for them. It also, I mean, it is what it is. Louis Riddick, a very well-spoken guy, very knowledgeable and all that stuff and everything, but also kind of makes you want. I mean, he's still out there, right? He's been interviewed for a few other GM spots, and nobody's ever, So it kind of makes you wonder that if we brought Louis Riddick in, how well would have things worked out? Who knows? One of those things you'll never find out. But as it turns out, Riddick had big plans for the head coach had he landed the Giants GM spot. In fact, it appears Riddick reached out to Nick Saban proactively while still being in the running for the position. So, he just, because, obviously if you're a GM, you got to, okay, who's going to be my coach, right? So Louis Riddick said on ESPN today that when he was interviewed for the Giants spot, the Giants general manager job, he called Nick Saban to gauge his potential interest in becoming the team's head coach. Obviously, it didn't work out, but an interesting what if. Let's see. This wasn't the first time Saban's name was connected to the Giants. According to Bruce Arians back in 2018, Saban coveted the Giants head coaching job. And there was also rumors that Saban nearly replaced Tom Coughlin when his tenure with the Giants ended. It's certainly an interesting what-if scenario, right? Especially considering the way that the Gettleman era is remembered among fans. It's interesting to think about how Riddick would have fared as a Giants GM, especially if he was able to lure Saban away from Alabama. Now, Saban did a decent job when he was with the Browns underneath with Bill Belichick. Did a decent job, but I mean, you kind of wonder. I mean, because it's not easy, right? I mean, it's one thing you go out and you try to lure in your guys, right, to join your team. It's got nothing to do about money. We don't have enough salary cap. We can't bring in 312 five-star athletes because we don't have salary cap. Nope. Well, you just go out there and whoever you want, right? You can go out. It's not so much as plucking them. I'll take because, Saban goes to this guy's house. Well, the guy from Georgia goes there. The guy from Ohio State goes there. The guy from Notre Dame goes, right? But I mean, if you got Alabama, and all these national championships, and Nick Saban showing up at your house and all that stuff. I mean, that has some pull to it, So, it's one thing, that, but it's another thing trying to coach grown men. And the other thing too, it's kind of like it's, when you can go out, right, and get who you want, right? I'll tell you, you go out and you visit whatever 100 guys, just say, and whatever 50 of them say yes or 40 of them say whatever it is. You got guys you want, right? I mean, with the salary cap, I mean, you got to coach, right? You bring in 2 or 3 or 4 stars, and you're like, sorry, coach, we're pretty much out of salary cap. We can get these guys for about $100 or $1 million a year. That's all we got. So it's a little different. You kind of wonders, I mean, if he didn't have a star-studded team like he did at Alabama, how would he fare, right? Obviously the 7 national championships, that's pretty dumb. Hey, hard to argue with that. But once again, that's college. Not every college coach, like Jimmy Johnson, can be successful at the college level and be successful at the pros. For every Jimmy Johnson, right, there's probably, I don't know, whatever, 10 or so or whatever that crash and burn. Urban Meyer, I mean, what a piece of human trash that guy is. Oh, my God. I mean, the success he had in college was the exact opposite of what he had in the pros. So not every, I mean, it doesn't work. I mean, you can raise your voice and yell and scream and maybe get the attention of these college players and stuff like that. And, but sometimes you get to the pros, and you start pulling that, especially if you start pulling that stuff on like, you know, your coaches and stuff like that, sometimes that backfires on you. You know, so it kind of makes you wonder, you know, if say how successful Saban would have been if he would have been here, right? So, but I mean, it's a New York Giants, you know, the head coaching position. You know, and obviously throughout the years, there's been a lot of you know, interest in being the head coach of the Giants throughout the years. You know, so now one of them, one of the biggest ones, you know, was Bill Cowher. Okay, now if you realize, if you go back, I mean, you go back to with the Steelers, you go back to 1969. They've only had 3 head coaches. Can you? Unbelievable. Is that unbelievable? What is that, like 60, 65, 55 years? 55 years, something like that. They've had 3 head coaches. But Bill Cowher, he, you know, was, you know, one of the times, I think it was when Judge, when the opportunity came around, I think, you know, there was I don't know, there was an article or so. I said Bill Cowher might still have had the itch, but I think he really wanted the Giants head coach as well too. Boy, he would have been cool. Had the Cowher scour on the sideline with that jaw and everything. Oh man, I think he would have been pretty special. But it is what it is. And then we got the final. Now PFF never has no love at all for the New York Giants here. Got an article here, and I'm going to go over the final grades for the Giants, their team, offense, defense, and special teams, right? But it's from Big Blue View. Anthony Del Genio says, read them and weep. The 2023 Giants is seen by PFF. Now, they never have no love whatsoever for the Giants. Says the worst post-mortem, according to Merriam-Webster, can mean an analysis or discussion of an event after it is over, or it can refer to an autopsy. A look back at the 2023 Giants probably falls somewhere in between those two definitions. 2023 was the Giants' most disappointing season since 2017, or maybe since 2021. You know, things are bad when you only have to go back 2 years and 6 years to find other seasons just as brutal. To look at the bright side, though, at least this time the Giants coaching situation isn't in shambles. Then it says, oh, wait. Anyway, you have to diagnose the disease before you can lure it. So let's go. We'll use Pro Football Focus grades for the team and the individual players. So I'm just going to go and supplement them for some statistics. Well, the Giants finished, they were dead last as far as the overall team grade. They had 6 wins. They were 6-11, and they were the worst graded team overall team grade. Let's see. The offense as a whole was noticeably better in 2022. A quarterback play improved significantly from the Judge to the Dable era. So, I mean, things got better. Some things certainly got better without question, with Dable. But, I mean, a lot of the grades, a lot of them went down. A lot of grades went down. Now, let me go over here some of the I'll start off here. All right. On the offensive side. Now, these are the end of the season, final season grades, right? Jashaun Corbin led the Giants offensive-wise. He only played one game, 15 total snaps. He graded out a 76.7. Andrew Thomas, other than that, he only played in 10 games, only 576 snaps. Right? He played basically about half the snaps. Graded out 76.1. Now you got to consider, how much was that hamstring bothering him? Because he took a step back. Let's see. Andrew Thomas. Let's see here. He 76.1. He graded out a 90.3 in 2022. So he took a step back. But I mean, I'm kind of wondering how much of that was from the hamstring. Tyrod Taylor was the Giants' third highest graded offensive player, 71.4. Saquon Barkley, 70.2 overall. Darren Waller, shame he missed so much time, but he graded at 69.4. Darius Slayton, there you go. Played in all 17 games. There's not many guys, not many Giant players that played in all. Let's see, how many Giant offensive players played in all 17 games here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Only 5 Giants players. Jalin Hyatt, cool. Darius Slayton, Isaiah Hodgins. So we have the 3 wide receivers. Matt Breida, right? And Daniel Bellinger. Those are the only 5 guys who played in all 17 games. So a tight end, 3 wide receivers, and a running back played in all 17 games for the Giants. Wan'Dale Robinson, 15 games, 66.4. Mark Lewinsky, 64.8. Gary Brightwell, we played grand total 41 snaps, 64.4. Daniel Jones, 326 snaps altogether, graded out of 63. Tommy Chicken Cutlet Parmesan, hold the vodka sauce on the side, DeVito. Played in 9 games, 405 snaps, 61.9. Jalin Hyatt, 59.7. Lawrence Cager, 9 games, 101 snaps, 58.2. Eric Gray, 7 games, just 64 snaps, 57.2. Isaiah Hodgins, all 17 games, 511 snaps, 56.4. Gunnar Olszewski, well, he was just 4 games, just 7 snaps, 54.7. Tyree Phillips, 52.7. Now you're going to start seeing, some noticeable offensive linemen down there, right? You got Tyree Phillips, 52.7. Matt Breida, 52.4. Paris Campbell, 51.4. Sterling Shepard, 50.1. Daniel Bellinger, he's got to do better. He had a down year, 49.1. Tyree Jackson, wow, 46.8. Marcus McKeithen, 45.4. Sean Harlow, 45.3. Matt Parrott, 42.9. Joshua Zudu, 42.4. I mean, oh my God. Let me go on. Let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The bottom 10 guys on the Giants offense, all offensive linemen. The bottom 10. Marcus McKeithen, 45.4. Sean Harlow, 45.3. Matt Parrott, 42.9. Joshua Zudu, 42.4. Ben Bredesen, 42.1. Justin Pugh, 41.6. John Michael Schmitz, 41.4. Evan Neal, 39.8. Shane Lemieux, 34.3. Jalen Mayfield, 26.1. Holy crap. Now, let's not also forget, right, in there, Matt Parrott's a 3rd-round pick. Joshua Zudu, a 3rd-round pick. Justin Pugh, 1st-round pick. John Michael Schmitz, 2nd-round pick. Evan Neal, 1st-round pick. So you got 5 out of those 10 guys who were drafted either in the 1st, 2nd, or 3rd round, and they blew this season. Way to go, Bobby Johnson. You suck. I'm so thankful he's freaking gone. All right, defensive grades. Of course, the sexy one. Graded out of a 93. Even graded out of a 93 in the last few games or whatever. He was playing with like a hamstring and all. Last quite a few games because he was on a pitch count a lot of the times. He only played 709 snaps. So, what do we got here? Xavier McKinney, he balled at 87.8. Now he's looking for a big payday out there. I'm not sure what the top safety's getting, but he's looking for some of that. Now I'm not sure if the Giants are going to want to go there. I'd be surprised if they're going to want to go there, but we have to wait and see. Have to wait and see. Let's see on it. All right, Bobby Okereke, 78.2. Now, also, you'll notice like the top two out of the top three guys, they both played all the snaps, right? One, Xavier McKinney, 87.8. Very, very good. And I said Okereke, 78.2. Nick McLeod, 74.8. Oshane Ximines, he's gone. I don't have to worry about him. 70.2. Isaiah Simmons, though. Let's hope we can bring him back. 68.9. His coverage skills are very, very impressive. Jason Pinnock, 67.8. Leonard Williams, 67.6. Micah McFadden, 65.6. His tackling grade, Micah McFadden, was absolutely horrible. He missed 25 tackles all season long. The Giants missed 151 tackles. Micah McFadden missed 1/6 of those. We missed, as a defense, 151 tackles. Micah McFadden missed 25 of those 151. 1/6. He's got to do a better job of tackling. Darnay Holmes, 63.9. Carter Coughlin, he was in it for one game, 2 snaps, 59.5, and he won't be back. Ashawn Robinson, 58.7. Kayvon Thibodeau, 58.5. Tolman Fox was in there for one game, 19 snaps, graded at 57.5. Boogie Basham, 55. Cordell Flott, 53.3. Trey Hawkins, the third, 52.6. Azeez Ojulari, 51.8. Dane Belton, 51.7. DJ Davidson, 51.6. Deonte Banks, 51.4. Bobby McCain. Yeah, brought him in, got him in there for 2 games. Grand total, 19 snaps. Graded out of 49. Adoree Jackson, 48.6. His tackling grade was a 37.6. He just did not seem like he wanted to have contact this season. Nacho was in there, 46.2. Jihad Ward, 42.4. Benton Whitley, 37.3. Jordan Riley, 33.1. And Timmy Horn is in there for one game, 7 snaps, graded out of 30.3. Not very good. Not very good at all. All right, let's go to special teams here, right? Well, interesting. Interesting that our highest graded guy on special teams isn't even on the team anymore. Leonard Williams. Wow. Huh. Where are we at here? Leonard Williams. He's played in special teams in 8 games, had a grand total of 50 snaps. 15 on the punt return and field goal block. 35 snaps. He graded out at 90.1. Casey Kreider, we gotta bring him back. 81.7. Isaiah Simmons, let's hope we can bring him back. 75.4. Gunnar Olszewski, once again, I'm going to pull the cord. Let's hope we can bring him back. 70.9. Tolman Fox, 70. Carter Coughlin, we're not bringing him back apparently, 69.8. Let's see here. Benton Whitley, 68.6. Micah McFadden, 65.7. Darnay Holmes, not sure if we're going to be bringing him back either, 65.5. Cam Brown, we're not bringing him back apparently, 65.3. Eric Gray, 64.9. Jason Pinnock, 64.7. Matt Breida, 64.6. Justin Pugh, 63.1. Marcus McKeithen, 63. Boogie Basham, 62.7. Where we at here? Pull him down. Oh, there's a boatload. I'm gonna go a little bit farther and I'm going to stop. We got 3,000 guys that showed up on special teams. Sean Harlow, 62.7. Deonte Banks, 62.3. Matt Parrott, 62.1. I mean, basically, if you were on the team, you wound up playing some special teams here. Evan Neal, 61.9. Ben Bredesen, 61.9. Tyree Phillips, 61.7. Mark Lewinsky, 61.7. John Michael Schmitz, 61.6. Even Nacho was in there. Dexter Lawrence played some special teams. They were all pretty much like around a 60. I mean, just to go to show you, I mean, oh my God, we have so many guys on the team. I'm going to say how many guys? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. 23 guys graded out of 61 or 60. So, which is like very kind of like mediocre. You know what I mean? Nothing super, but you know, so. But interesting enough, Leonard Williams, the Giants, who played in 8 games on special teams for the Giants, grand total of 50 snaps, graded at 90.1, the number one guy on special teams for the Giants. And well, he'll be a free agent. I mean, but obviously the Seahawks have the first dibs, I guess, on trying to bring him back. So I'll have to wait and say the Giants could certainly bring Leonard Williams back, but I don't think they're going to because of the money. But interestingly enough, let's see what do we got here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. Right? 1, 2. Yeah, the top 6 guys the guys have. The top 6 guys for special teams the Giants have. Only 5 of them are free agents. They're not Giants anymore. The Giants have to try to bring them back. So the Giants got their work cut out for them. You know, one of the things, I mean, obviously, everything it's, there's offense, there's defense, and there's special teams. And we've seen what this team can be like with some crappy special teams play. Block field goal, run back for a touchdown, poor special teams, punt coverage. We lost in part, we lost the Detroit preseason game. The guy ran the ball, was it 95 yards back for a touchdown in preseason because the Giants guys weren't keeping their lanes and stuff like that. So the block field goal, missed field goals, missed extra points. I mean, the guys were injured. Gano was injured. But if he wasn't injured, right, he's probably making that 30-something yard field goal against the Jets. We get another win. If Gano is healthy and all that stuff, we don't have Crosby in there, and maybe he's probably winning the game for us. Maybe against the Rams, there's another win. But I said, but then also, the debacle we had the first half of the season or whatever. Well, who's gonna muff punts for us tonight or today? Is it we're gonna put Sterling Shepard in there to screw the punt return up, or are we gonna put Eric Gray back there and let him screw the punt? Right? But once we got the gunner Olszewski, right, who's a free agent, let's hope we can bring the guy back, because once we brought him back there, things really started calming down the punt return. And actually, it was almost a little pleasant surprise having Gunner in there, right? He brought that one back, 94 yards for the touchdown against the Rams, which almost helped win the game for us, right? So let's hope we can bring him back. But 5 of the top 6 guys for the Giants aren't on the team. We got to try to bring some of them back. So if we don't bring them all back, whatever, let's hope we can find some guys who can do the job, because as we've seen, poor special teams play can really hurt the Giants. And when you're not a phenomenal team, you need all 3 elements of the game to really help you out, right? We can't afford no special teams debacle, right? And finally, this is always my favorite one right here. PFF never gives the Giants any love. Now, there's 13 categories. Pretty much, there was quite a few weeks where the Giants were in last place in 5 of the 13. I think they're in 4 of them now. So I think we've gotten a little bit better. But PFF has no love for the New York Giants. So let's go over here. Let's go over the 13 categories. I do this after every week, after a win, loss, draw, whatever it wind up being. I go over the team grades. So this will be the 17th and final time this season that I'll go over the team grades. Let's see where the Giants stand. Okay, as far as the team grades. The overall team grade, the 49ers are number 1. The Dolphins are number 2. Well, they're gone. 94.5 was the Dolphins. The 49ers, 95.2 overall. The Giants are number 32, 61.1. So far, one of the categories or whatever, the Giants are in last place. The offense, 49ers number 1, 91. The Giants offensively were number 31. The Jets are 32. So the Giants are 57.5. We're at 31. Passing grade. The Dolphins number 1, 89.6. The Giants are number 20, 65.5. Pass blocking. The Eagles number 1, 76.9. Pass blocking. Giants number 32. Shocking, I know. Hard to believe. 43.4. So the Giants are in last place in 2 categories. Receiving grade. 49ers number 1 at 90.5. The Giants receiving grade. Number 32. So now we're in last place in 3 categories. 1, 2, 3, 4. 62.3. The Giants in last place in 3. And we were number 31 in one of the categories. So running grade. Overall team running grade. Arizona Cardinals, number 1, 92.5. The Giants' overall running grade. We're number 30. 70.2. So you figure between being number 30 or back, 1, 2, 3, 4, in 6 categories, the Giants were 30th or worse in 5 of the 6 categories so far. I mean, and just figure we within, if you change like 3 plays during the season, the Giants might have been a playoff team. Right? Run blocking. 49ers number 1, 82.8. All right, the Giants are number 30, 41.1. So now out of what we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Out of 7 categories, the Giants were 30th or worse in 6 of them. All right, defensive grade. We got 6 categories left. Defensive. Jets number 1 at 90.1. And the Giants are, Giants are number 26, 67.9. Run defense. Dolphins are number 1, 88.6. All right, the Giants are number 27 with a grade of 58. Tackling. Giants are horrible. Cowboys, number 1, 81.9. And the Giants are number 27. The Giants tackling grade was a 42. Absolutely freaking pathetic. Pass rush. Cleveland Browns, number 1, 91.3. Giants pass rush is at 26, 66.3. Coverage. Jets, 94.4. But also, I want to bring out too, is that the Baltimore Ravens, their coverage grade, 92.9. And we brought in for an interview, right? We brought in the Baltimore Ravens secondary coach to interview for our defensive coordinator position. So, right? And let's not forget, Wink Martindale came from Baltimore, right? The guy we brought in for an interview was also from Baltimore. So, right? But the Ravens, 92.9. The Giants are 77.3. A lot of, we got some good players, no question there. But also we got Jerome Henderson too, a very good coach. And special teams, let's see here. The Chargers, that's why we asked for to see if we can bring in the Chargers special teams coach to interview for hours. The Chargers are number 1, 90.8. And where were the Falcons? Let's see. Falcons. Don't even see them. Anyway, yeah. So that's why we asked to bring in the special teams coordinator of the San Diego Chargers, because they don't have a coach, right? So they could say, yeah, All right, yeah, instead of keeping the guy in limbo, because I mean, obviously you're looking like that. Well, let's see, the Giants, I said the Giants special teams, they were 24th, 69, right? But I mean, sometimes it's also, it's like, you look at the teams, right? I mean, because if they're holding on to a special teams coach, right, he's good. So no matter what, he's going to find a job. Yeah, no question about that. But I mean, the guy could probably find he might want to come to New York, but they said no because they're waiting for a head coach. So they're kind of keeping the guys in limbo. They're not sure if they'll keep, the new head coach will keep him or not. But you see, the San Diego Chargers graded out number one according to PFF, number one overall, had the number one overall special teams grade, San Diego Chargers, and that's the guy we call first for our special teams coordinator. I mean, that might have been a home run as well too. So, but I mean, you still don't know. I mean, we still haven't filled the position. The Chargers, you're not sure. I mean, who they're trying to bring in. Are they waiting for after some of the playoffs to kind of some of these teams to start getting knocked out so they can start talking to some of the teams? Like there's somebody on the Browns. Like maybe they might want to talk to the Browns defensive coordinator to be their head coaching job, right? Or maybe their offensive coordinator for the Dolphins, right? They might want to call them and maybe see if they want But so some of these teams might be waiting for the playoffs to start. Some of these teams to start getting knocked out because obviously, if you're a good team and you go into the playoffs and all that, because you might have good players, but you might have some good coaches. And if you're looking for a head coach, anybody, as long as you're not, trying to get, whatever, Mike McCarthy, right? You're not calling him Jerry Jones. Yeah, can we have Mike McCarthy interview him for a head coach? He's our head. They're going to say no. But I mean, anybody underneath the head coach, right? If you're calling him up for, that's not a lateral move. So they're going to come at least interview. So I mean, so some of these other teams might be waiting. But that said, the guy. Probably going to be, the Chargers are probably going to hold on to their special teams coordinator for the new head coach is probably going to want to keep him because he's doing such a phenomenal job. But for some reason, if they were to let him go, if the Giants still needed, they did ask, maybe they can get him in there. But it is what it is. We'll have to wait and see. But let's see. Hold on here. Who we have? All right, so we got tomorrow. Tomorrow we got the Cowboys and the Packers 4:30 game, and then in the late game we got Detroit and the Rams. So that should be a good one. Let's hope Green Bay can go in there and knock off those damn Cowboys. That'd be great. But Houston 45-14. Oh, I mean, both games stunk. See, you combine the two. What do we got here? 71-21. Two absolute toilet bowl games. I mean, it was the Dolphin game was kind of close at halftime. It was 16-7 at halftime. Actually, it was 13-7. They let the Chiefs walk down the field in the final 2 minutes of the game, or 2 minutes of the first half, and score. But I mean, the Dolphins couldn't. 264 total yards, 13 first downs. They couldn't do much of anything. And the Chiefs had 25 first downs. The Dolphins had 13. I mean, the Dolphins couldn't do anything at all in the cold, and it was cold. But so 26-7, the Chiefs roll over the Dolphins, and the Houston Texans 45-14. They roll over the. I mean, it's kind of surprising because the Browns had such a good defense, and they give up 45 points, and the Dolphins have such a good offense, and they only scored 7 points in like what I was hearing, like possibly 30-degree below wind chill factor. Kind of tough to get a good offense going. I mean, the Chiefs are a little used to that, but the Dolphins are not. You go from the bottom of Florida all the way up to where it's 30 degrees below zero, right? And play Kansas City. It's a bit of a difference. So tomorrow we might have two good games. Let's hope the Packers can go in there and knock off those damn Cowboys, because I love nothing better than to rub it in the Cowboys' face. And then that Ram Detroit game, the one later on at night, that could be a good one. But it's really nice. What I don't like this Peacock bull crap where you have to pay to have a I don't like that, because what I can see is somewhere along the line, the wheels on these owners, and it's because it's all about the Benjamins. The more it's all about the Benjamins, the less I like it. The more I despise it, absolutely despise it. But you can start seeing, right? The wheels are turning. May not be this year, may not be next year, but somewhere along the line, right? It's going to be like a WWE thing. Now, what is a WWE thing? Pay-per-view, right? You can almost see the Super Bowl. Hey, well, of course, it's not. Nobody's going like, oh my God, I think, of course, this has been going on. They're thinking about it big time. Absolutely. Yeah, you know what? We pay like $50 pay-per-view and haven't watched the Super Bowl. Yeah, we can make ourselves some more. You can see it going on somewhere like that. And I absolutely totally spot. The more it's about the Benjamins, and that's all this stuff is, the more I absolutely despise it. Absolutely can't stand it. Now you got to start paying to watch a playoff game. It's like, come on. Absolutely pathetic. It's football? Is it about the greedy ass mother making some extra money? Yeah, unfortunately it is. Or is it about the game? Is it about the people, right, who want to just enjoy some football? And unfortunately, the jackwagons up, NFL and all the owners and all that. It's all about this. They don't give a rat's rear end about the guys like us who have been watching football for so many years. Now you have to pay to watch a playoff game. Absolutely freaking pathetic, but it is what it is. All right, guys, be back again probably tomorrow. All right, so whoever spent any time listening to me live, thank you. Or if anybody spends any time watching replays, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me. Thank you. As always, you guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo! Oh, yeah.